I just thought of something, off the top of my head as I'm recording the intro for this thing. We Shovel. That's a gimmick that would have sold like hotcakes back in the day. Because we owners would need one if today's subject matter is anything to go by. No, hold on. Stop the audio. We can't play that track anymore. That track doesn't exist anymore. We gotta play the other one. Play the old version if you don't... Okay, go. Oh, good lord, that sounds awful. That's terrible. That's what they're stuck with? They couldn't... you know what? Forget it. Let's just move on. Well, kids, today we're doing something completely straightforward and totally uncomplicated. It's Arcade Shooting Gallery, released in 2009 for Nintendo Wii, courtesy of Cyberplanet Interactive and published by Zoo. Just Zoo. Quite a popular place or something. So this is a rail shooter thing where you shoot animal robot things and clowns and other things with your Wii remote, and you do this for about 8 rounds of stuff, and that's it. Now, believe it or not, there is a story of some sort behind this game presented in static cutscenes and Comic Sans font. Apparently, a disgruntled clown, we'll call him Dwayne, has taken over the amusement park and it's up to Special Agent, we'll call him Paul, has to defeat Dwayne and save the park, or something. I don't know. I don't think it really matters to the target audience for this thing, which is, what, kids? Yeah. Cool story, bro. You know what passed off as kids' games back in the 80s? So yeah, we turned out fine. The people who grew up playing stuff like this, on the other hand, they're the ones poised to start World War III, and it starts with Arcade Shooting Gallery. A game where you shoot robot critters while your kid avatar thing moves around spastically, which means split-second reflexes to pick up any stray power-ups dropped by enemies or broken from bonus crates, some of which range from health pickups or extra weapons and things of that nature. You begin the game with a regular air gun that you shoot by pressing B, and you can keep holding down B to shoot a constant barrage of air pellets and not worry about ammo because your default blaster has unlimited shots. Now the extra weapons, they have limited shots, but they don't seem all that different from the regular gun, so what's even the point? Oh, one shoots bubbles. That's about it, really. Yippee. You have a couple modes of play. The main story mode, where you play through 9 stages, upgrade your skills at the shop with the money you've accumulated, go for the hearts to last longer in a fight, everything else is just, whatever, doesn't really matter. As well as save your progress in one of 3 save slots. Extreme mode is the same as story mode, except it's a one-shot deal with no saving allowed. And there's some mini games for you to play with, as well as a tutorial to teach you how to play the game, if you need such things. There really isn't a whole lot to Arcade Shooting Gallery. You use your Wii remote thing to point your targeting crosshairs and shoot. The game also calls for the nunchuck to be used, mostly so you'd have a reason to use the plastic Wii zapper gimmick if you have one of those laying around. Not that you really need the nunchuck. The only purpose it serves is to add a couple extra buttons to swap weapons, which you could have mapped to the D-pad on the remote and just kept it like that, but whatever. Now the good news about Arcade Shooting Gallery is that it does exactly what it says on the tin. It's a game where you point your remote at things and you shoot them, and to the game's credit, this works about as well as your aim is accurate and your aim is slightly off-center here. Best adjust to that. One job, Zoo. You had one fucking job, and you couldn't even do that one simple thing. Anyway, if you somewhat adjust to a faulty crosshair to aim your shots, the gameplay is more or less as advertised. It's not a particularly difficult game so much as it is a long one. I managed to complete this in about roughly an hour and a half, give or take. It's just a matter of holding down that B button on your remote, aim it at anything that moves. Occasionally you use the nunchuck to switch weapons if you really feel like it, you don't really need to. And try not to fall asleep because the gameplay here is just brain dead and boring. The only real trouble spot comes from the bosses, where you pretty much have to try and outlast the boss as you pump a cajillion shots its way before it eventually dies, and should you not last, you can always go to the shop and get a boost of hearts. Of course, you can always start a new game and start with more hearts by default, anywhere from 3 to 9, I believe. So either way, it's nothing an upgrade or two can't fix if you're really having trouble, which you really shouldn't unless it's merely to stay awake during this utter bore fest of a game. And also the temerity of Arcade Shooting Gallery to force you to play through the first 4 stages twice before tackling the final castle level just to extend the gameplay. Come on. As for the mini-games included, well, the game does tell you to remove the nunchuck and stick with the Wii Remote, and most of these involve some semblance of waggle, mostly a flick of the wrist to toss objects like darts or basketballs. In any event, it's 5 short mini-games where whoever scores the most points win, can be played with 1 or 2 players. Not very exciting and not really worth anyone's time, to be honest with you. The best way to describe the overall visual presentation is slightly above Nintendo 64 quality, and that's perhaps being overly generous. The textures for the terrains and various objects have a very ugly, very blurry, low-res look to them. The overall visual presentation is just really boring and dull otherwise. The robot critters animate simply enough if they do need to do something, otherwise they're just moving statues for the most part. I'm not sure if these are supposed to be creepy or horrifying, but they just left me with a big old cup of meh. Ditto on the sound, which employs some stock Carnival circusy tunes that are decidedly stock and boring, but is at least befitting of the amusement park setting you're fighting in. Sound effects and mild voice clips also exist. Also somewhat stock sounding, nothing else to add here, it's just all kind of, sort of, boring. Overall, Arcade Shooting Gallery is a thing that exists on Wii that does exactly what it says it does, and that's about it. There's nothing special about it, there's nothing particularly unique or exciting about it, and there's nothing notably offensive about it unless you paid an obscene amount of money for this thing, in which case, I'm sorry, but that's on you, pal. I got my copy cheap. And I still want my money back. I've got nothing else to say about this. I think we're done. Good night.